because my mother is Hutu and my father is Tutsi, there was again tensions between their own families, and a lot of our neighbors were Hutus. So my dad, they wanted to kill my dad. Even before that, people kind of thinking that it was not so, it didn't really seem like it was going to happen. But when the Hutus leader died, killed by Tutsis, he was shot on the plane, just before the Hutus were to attack the Tutsis. That's when it all started, really. So they were thinking, what do we take and what do we leave? And suddenly a group of people came to the front of the house, and these were mostly neighbors looking for us. So Dad had to make a big decision, and that decision was to go and face them while we were still inside. So as Dad went, we saw him. He was suddenly surrounded by people who had different weapons, and that was the last time we saw him for a while. They were about to kill him, and Mum again had to make a decision that was a difficult one too. So she ran with us through the back door, taking nothing, and ran for most of the day. We were when the UNHCR came, in the end brought us some food, a ration of food that we were expected to have for 2 weeks. Sometimes was enough and sometimes was not enough. So it was about probably enough for 1 meal a day. People were still had in mind, still were struggling to accept what happened with their own families. So we had probably about every second kid you come across was an orphan, either with no father or no mother, or none of them, not even a brother or sister. So that created a big problem. People were still angry with one another, and they were still fighting in different ways, and even killing each other at night. One man across our street, he had lost one leg. He had 2 daughters that survived the war. All his family was killed. So one day he decided that he would kill the 2 daughters, and he did, and then burnt himself in the house. I guess the question was, why us? I always asked myself, why me? Where is Dad? And what happened? What's God doing to us? If God loves us, what's happening? Do we really deserve this? Why are other people happier than we are? This is about 3 years after we'd been in Australia. So we'd spoken to someone who said, look, you should try looking for your father. Anyway, the Australian government helped through Red Cross to look for our father, who was also in Tanzania. And we found him. So all that time, we'd been looking for him, but he was not there. He was not in a camp. He had to go to Tanzania and settled as Tanzanian, because he tried camps and he nearly got killed. He was looking for us too, but he settled now and probably given up. Mom would sort of given up already. But that was something that really, again, contributed to what changed my way of thinking of life. I remember the first phone call, he was like, oh, your voice has changed. I said, yeah, what do you expect? I was like, where have you been, Dad? So we talked for long and long, just couldn't believe it. It was just like a dream come true, I guess. heard of people saying dream come true. This time was, because it was always in our memory, dad, and we just never thought it would be the same. We'll get him back. To handle differences will probably be best to not necessarily not just respect each other's, but also to listen to each other, where people are coming from, like the example I gave from the our government, in terms of how they handled that. I think that's one thing that is quite important when you're trying to approach differences, given that we're different, to maybe not say, yes, I agree, but say, I don't agree, and this is the reason why. We don't have to all agree, because I think we've all had different experiences, but we have to maybe respect each other and understand where we're coming from, and I guess accept. Yeah. And I think sharing also, like now I'm sharing, so any opportunity to share, I'll share, because that's always a healing experience, because again, memories are coming out and I'm feeling comfortable. I guess there is a sense of support from people who always ask me to share. That always brings a lot of healing. So instead of, it's very different from me, say, deciding to write all these things, from people having people listening, people that care about me. So I guess sometimes we can be very quick in helping. Sometimes we can be not so quick in helping. I guess there's a need for the world to help each other, to feel that we are all different, but we can help each other. We are all connected in one way or another. To feel that we're all family. But I think mostly we have to understand why we're family. I think there are many things that are similar, whether we're poor or rich. There are different things that we worry about, and listening to our stories will probably prove that. I think there should be maybe a bit more listening as we help each other, or before we help each other.